This is Palms Podcast, and today's special guest is Nye.
It's your boy.
And today's topic, we'll be talking about time management as a student athlete.
It's important.
First, talk to us about, your experience as just an athlete.
Just an athlete. I love being an athlete. There's some perks out there that we get that normal students don't, but I gotta say we work for it. We work for it. Being an athlete is like having a job 40 hours a week.
Definitely.
Or more that you don't get paid for. Some people be like, athletes don't deserve to get paid because y'all on scholarships. Some of us not on scholarships. Some of us don't get many scholarships. So, to be putting in these 40 hours is something serious that I feel like you should repercussions for it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I understand. Also myself as being an athlete, it's like realizing the things that we do and the things we don't get credit for by just the general student body, in terms of they think, oh, we shouldn't be tired because we have people that do stuff for us, but they don't realize that we got to do most of our things on our own, and we have to find our own time to do things like homework and study. And with practice, it really dictates the majority of our time, so it's hard for us to really decide. And not decide is not the right word, but it's really hard for us to
Manage.
manage time. And people don't see that. People who have jobs, they're always like, oh, I have a job, I'm tired, it's hard for me to work and go to school at the same time. But it's like school and sports is basically a job. They give us probably 4 to 6 hours out of the day devoted just to working out and stuff, and you got to build your schedule around that. And people who have jobs, they're always talking about, oh, I work, it's hard for me to do my homework, I don't have a lot of free time. But it's like same thing as athletes. We're required to do things outside of sports. We have to volunteer, we have to go to events and stuff for the school. And quite frankly, I don't think the recognition is there when it comes to us balancing our social lives, school lives, and our sport lives.
To be honest, I really don't think it's much of a difference between regular students and athletes when it comes to working, school, and everything, until you add in that practice and game schedule. When I was first introduced into the athlete life, I couldn't handle it myself because it was so different from my regular school life. I would just do schoolwork, chill with friends, study, and that's all I was worried about. I had nothing else. But then when I was introduced to being an athlete, it was like, okay, you got practice at 8:30, then you got a little break in between that, then you got to go to class. After class, you need to head over to weights, and after weights, you got to make sure you get some study hall hours in. You got to study on your own because you got some tests and everything to take care of. You got volunteer hours. You got some other stuff, events that we have to go to make our program look a little better. And it's like, okay, I need to go to this program, but I got an essay that's due at 11:59. Is my coach gonna let me skip it? Should I skip it? Should I have done this paper? Maybe, but I needed a nap in because I just had practice and I need some fuel to keep going.
Those naps are key, very key.
I take a nap and I really don't be feeling like waking up though until 11:59 when the assignment is due, and then it's bad.
When you first started running, how did you adjust? Like, say freshman year, how was your freshman year when you started running and practice and waking up at 6 and then going to class all day? How did that take a toll on you?
Man, that was a hard adjustment. I'm not gonna lie. My schedule before track was literally wake up, go to class, come back from class, take a nap, go to the next class, take a nap after that. I'm gonna wake up, study, play video games until 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up and repeat, and I'd go to the calf 2 or 3 times a day, just eating and studying. Then athletics came around. It was 6 a.m. practice. Got from practice, I got 30 minutes to go to my next class. I got to that class and I'm tired. So there goes my nap. I'm sleeping in class. I mean, I really can't help it.
It's hard to
My
focus.
body is just beat. You know, I can't stay up. I didn't drink coffee at the time. That's just not something I was into. So with that happening, my grade went from an A minus to a C minus. You know, that was tough. And I really just couldn't adjust at first. It took me a year to adjust to that schedule. It wasn't what I was used to.
It's about the same for me. You know, at first I had time to go to class, do stuff in between class, but then the next semester started, and then it went practice in the morning, and then class right after that, and then weights at 6 o'clock. So it's like, okay, I have a little bit of time to do things, but then I'm basically tired all day, so it's like I can't focus. It's hard to focus. And honestly, the first year on that schedule was pretty terrible, and you know, it took some time talking to my parents and my mom, and just like learning how to refocus, you know, and like as the years went along, now I'm a senior. Everything is basically fine, you know. Everything's balanced. I have all my free time balanced. You know, I got time for my friends, time for homework, time to relax, you know, and it doesn't seem like it's too much for me. And I feel like the thing that kept me centered to figure out how to get better through all this was just better organization in terms of like, you know, keeping up with all my syllabus, keeping up with my calendars and classes and stuff, and knowing when things are due and when things are not due. And syllabi, and having a checklist for each week, just making sure I get things done, and that way it kept me on track and I got in a rhythm and I was able to stay focused, and I feel like that pushed me to get through all of these years.
Man, that's some good stuff. I still don't do all that. I'm pretty unorganized when it comes to things, but you know, athletics, I'm not gonna lie, they do help you out when it comes to finding new ways to manage stuff. And these are also things that are offered to like regular students. You know, you can go to the career service center and stuff like that, and they help you manage your time. They have open conferences to talk about this. But yeah, I really reached out to athletics for them to help me manage my schedule, my time, and being an athlete definitely pushes you more to do better in class. You know, you have that support system around you that really wants you to, you know what I'm saying, be at the next level in academics before athletics, I should say.
You have any tips you will offer to any student athletes that are just starting school on how they should handle things when they first get to school and they learn their schedule with practice and stuff like that?
Honestly, everybody's different. Every sport's going to be different. Everybody's body reacts differently to practice games. Some people have more games than others. Some people have harder practice than others, or it takes up more of the time. But at the end of the day, you know, we did come here to learn. We are student athletes. It's going to be hard, but you got to try your best not to fall back in class. I mean, because once you fall, it's hard to catch yourself back up. So put in those hours, even if you can only get 1 or 2 hours, or if you got to stay up late sometimes, you know, grind it out. I'd be doing it the same thing. I pull out all-nighters for tests. People say that's not good, but, you know, whatever I got to do to get that piece of paper in May, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
And, you know, just have good structure. Try to find someone that can help you stay organized, and then that way they can get you started. That way you can learn these habits and you build them and you continue them on your own. Those are my tips for people. That concludes this episode. We hope that we were able to be a good help to you all out there, student athletes, you know, coming up in the world. And thanks for tuning in.
Y'all listen to